Like other operations of its type, Wellington's landmark independent theatre BATS is gearing up for life under Delta Level 2. 50 is the maximum number of people who will be allowed at event venues in most of New Zealand. So what's this going to practically mean, and how are the theatres preparing? With us now, Jonathan Hendry, the General Manager of BATS. Morena.
Morena.
So what's your capacity anyway?
Our capacity is, normally we're a boutique theatre, so our capacity in our largest space is just under 90, and then we go to just in our 70s, and then we've got a small studio of 40.
Okay, so what's the impact of these new guidelines on you?
Well, it means that obviously we have to pretty much halve the amount of people that can go, and also with Delta, as we're discovering it being airborne, there's new protocols, and it will mean that when we reopen for artists, that will mean that there'll be less activity because we'll be monitoring and people coming into the space and making sure that people can stay inside their own bubbles. Basically, it's a lot more work.
Yes, and is it going to be financially viable to even open?
Well, as you introduced us, we look after independent artists. So basically the money that is raised through the door goes to them. And BATS has always been a space where ticket prices are accessible. So we've changed that up this year by having an optional ticket price of $40. We call it the difference. If people can and want to pay more, they can, because it directly goes to the artist. We have just a couple of dollars on that as a ticket clip. For us, it's about operating the bar. We're pretty much like some of the hospitality places down in Courtney Place, that we're reliant on patrons spending money over the bar. So for us, it will impact, but really we're there to provide the opportunity for artists to make money, to sustain themselves and keep going. And in a way, we're very fortunate. We've received funding and support to really start to develop our digital delivery capacity. So we're looking forward to this week bringing in artists who want to be recording their work. We've already got a show that only had one performance that's already started to record its work to be able to put it online. And then we'll be working really carefully with those artists that want to come in. Obviously, we work with the artists that want to come in, and if they're ready to come in, we can work safely under health guidelines. We proceed if we feel we can present. So there's a lot of balls in the air to juggle, but basically, we want to make our artists and other artists that want to come and work with us make their careers as sustainable as possible and get them in front of audiences in whatever way we can.
Yeah. Are you coming up with some creative ways on enforcing things like masking and scanning in?
Yeah, I'm really pleased about the mask use, because it's been something that's been prevalent over the ditch in Australia and in London for some time, in the theatres over there. And I think it's a really good safety measure. It does take a little bit of adjustment, and we noticed last time that we moved down levels that some patrons were thinking, do we really need to? But I encourage everyone to wear a mask. And obviously, I'm a bit of a serial scanner now. I'm really using that app.
Are you anticipating that people, especially after these weeks of lockdown, are going to be really keen to get back and have some live performance?
We found that, and I think that sort of speaks to what art can do by bringing people in and building social resilience by just being in a room with each other. I mean, I think many of us are feeling a little tired of Zoom already, and I really feel for the people in Auckland that will continue to have to work through, computer screens. We found that last time, and we feel that because our government has been working really hard and cautiously about making spaces safe again, we're confident that our patrons will want to come back. We were really buoyed up by the fact that some of the earlier surveys in 2020 were saying, it's going to take a while for live performers to come back, but we came back with a hiss and a roar, so we're crossing fingers that'll be the case this year.
Absolutely. Look, all the very best when that opening comes. That's Jonathan Hendry, General Manager of BATS Theatre.